The U.S. and India's top diplomats have pledged to deepen ties between their countries and strengthen a regional front against Beijing's assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Indian Foreign Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar met in New Delhi for a series of meetings and a joint press conference. Blinken announced a $25 million fund to support India's COVID vaccination program, and the two also discussed cooperation on Afghanistan. High on the agenda was also the Quad alliance between the U.S., India, Japan, and Australia, which was set up to counter China's growing influence. The pair stressed their countries' shared values and pledged to strengthen the Quad.
Peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific is as important for both of us as democratic stability in Afghanistan. Deepening the Quad as a collaborative platform is in our mutual interest, and we must work together even more closely on key contemporary challenges like terrorism, climate change, pandemics, and resilient supply chains.
Our bilateral relationship is strengthened by our shared values. As two of the world's leading democracies, we take seriously our responsibility to deliver freedom, equality, and opportunity to all of our people. And we know that we must constantly do more on these fronts. Neither of us has achieved the ideals that we set for ourselves.
Joining us is longtime diplomat Navte Sarna, former Indian ambassador to the U.S. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with the state of the Quad. How would you assess this leg of the Quad, the U.S.-India partnership?
Well, I think it's become increasingly important and more active over the last year or so, when India has been more actively involved in the Quad, and we've had a summit earlier this year. It's a virtual summit. And there is talk, perhaps, but nothing yet is confirmed, of another summit later this year, of course, depending upon the COVID-19 situation. US and India have been working together on the Indo-Pacific, and the Quad is a kind of, if you like, a kind of a subset or a framework within the Indo-Pacific. India plays an important role in the United States Indo-Pacific vision. As the other bookend to America, as an important democracy. And in recent months, I think, particularly during COVID-19, there has been this particular initiative, the vaccine initiative, in which India has a major role of producing 2 billion doses by 2022 for the people of the Indo-Pacific. And the other areas they have identified are things like climate change, infrastructure, critical technologies, and so on. And the Biden administration has appointed a person, to actually focus on the Quad and the Indo-Pacific.
Well, it's really interesting because ostensibly the Quad is about China, although that was never mentioned during the public comments. And when we talk about standing firm against China, of course, Secretary Blinken also met a representative of the Dalai Lama in India. And we haven't had a U.S.-Tibet meeting like this in a number of years. In the United States, being tough on China is a bipartisan affair. My question is from India's point of view. Given your conflict along the border with China last year, does India and U.S. share the same goals when it comes to China? Are the two countries entirely aligned on the matter?
Well, I think, there need not be an identical alignment on this issue. And you're absolutely right that though China is not mentioned, it was mentioned yesterday that the Quad is not a military alliance. And the Indian foreign minister made it very clear that no country should be worried that this is a club targeting them. So I think both sides are making it clear that the Indo-Pacific and the Quad is something beyond just a riposte to China. But nevertheless, China is the unmistakable dragon in the room. And the Quad and democracies like the 4 Quad members are trying to give an alternative vision, an alternative economic paradigm to the countries of the Indo-Pacific. So I think we need not have an identical alignment, but yes, there is a significant convergence at the moment on China. As US-China relations have toughened, yesterday, Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman was in China, and it was a very tense meeting with her counterparts there. And we also have seen a deterioration in the India-China relationship, particularly over the last year and a half. So this is a convergence. It's a strategic convergence, which at the moment brings us both on the same side.
Now, Foreign Minister Jaishankar mentioned Afghanistan as well. India has a stake in a stable Afghanistan. How valid are Delhi's concerns as it relates to its national security?
Oh, they're critical. They're absolutely critical for India. We would not like Afghanistan to be overrun by the Taliban and taken control of by force. We would not like Afghanistan to become a hotbed of terrorism, which would be exporting terrorism as well as refugees. So our interest is in an inclusive Afghanistan, an Afghan-led process in which takes care of all the entire communities, the different ethnic communities of Afghanistan, and also it does not roll back all the gains, particularly in civil societies, the place of women in society, the place of minorities that have been made in the last 20 years. So we do share a common vision, and we would like the United States to work with us and make sure that Pakistan and China don't give the Taliban an unrestrained hand in Afghanistan.
Navte, Sarna, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.